A quiet janitor at MIT hides a mind capable of rewriting the rules of genius.
Who did this?
While the world chases greatness, he moves in the shadows, unnoticed and underestimated. But some talents refuse to stay hidden, and when they surface, everything begins to change. In a gritty Boston neighborhood, 20-year-old Will Hunting works as a janitor at MIT, living a rough life with his friends while secretly possessing an extraordinary gift for mathematics. When a renowned professor leaves an unsolvable theorem on a hallway board, promising recognition and a place in academic history,
Another name printed in the auspicious.
Will stumbles upon it during his shift and becomes obsessed. That night, he isolates himself at home, scribbling equations across his bathroom mirror until he finally cracks the solution. Days later, he casually writes the answer on the board between cleaning duties, leaving the professor stunned and determined to uncover the anonymous genius behind it.
Well, this is correct.
But outside the world of academia, Will's impulsive nature takes over. While out with his friends, he spots a man who once bullied him harassing a girl, and without hesitation, he attacks him, sparking a chaotic street fight. By the time the police arrive, Will's friends can't pull him away and he is arrested. The next day, Professor Lambeau addresses a packed lecture hall, acknowledging everyone's curiosity about the anonymous genius, but revealing nothing before raising the stakes with an even harder problem, one that took experts over 2 years to prove.
That took us more than 2 years to prove.
Meanwhile, Will leaves the police station with a court date looming, then heads back to work where he spots another equation and quickly begins solving it. Just as he's finishing, the professor catches him in the act, but mistakes him for a vandal, and Will slips away before being identified. Moments later, Lambeau realizes the solution on the board is correct,
Oh my God.
confirming the mystery genius has returned. That night, Will meets his friends at the bar and casually reveals he's been fired, joking it off as management restructuring, even as it cuts him off from the place where his hidden brilliance briefly came alive. If you are enjoying this recap, drop a like to support the channel. Determined to uncover the mystery genius, Professor Lambeau tracks Will to the janitor's office, only to learn he's a court-ordered worker.
Roll, officer.
At Will's hearing, Lambeau watches in awe as the young man defends himself with sharp knowledge of law and sociology.
Excuse
Gonna make a mockery of the court.
I am afforded the right to speak.
But despite his brilliance, his long list of offenses lands him in jail.
But you hit a cop, you're going in.
Lambeau intervenes, securing Will's release under strict conditions. He must study advanced mathematics with him and attend weekly therapy sessions.
All right, I'll do the math, but I'm not going to meet with any therapist.
Will agrees reluctantly and quickly impresses Lambeau with his effortless problem solving. But therapy proves far more difficult. He outsmarts and provokes multiple psychologists,
Hey, you know something? I can't do this pro bono.
causing one to quit and another's hypnosis attempt to fail. Just as Lambeau begins to lose hope, he remembers an old acquaintance, Sean McGuire,
Hey, Jerry.
and approaches him, hoping he might be the one person capable of finally breaking through to Will. At first reluctant due to his own struggles, therapist Sean McGuire is convinced by Professor Lambeau to take on Will, whom he compares to a once-in-a-century, self-taught genius.
This boy is just like that.
In their first session, Will behaves as expected, sarcastic, mocking, and emotionally guarded. But Sean refuses to be rattled until Will crosses a line by insulting his late wife, triggering a rare outburst and ending the session on tense terms. Though shaken, Sean agrees to continue,
4 o'clock. Make sure the kid's here.
quietly grappling with his grief afterward. Meanwhile, Will begins a budding romance with Skylar, a wealthy, ambitious student planning to attend Stanford, and the two share a genuine connection. At their next therapy session, held on a quiet park bench, Sean cuts through Will's defenses with brutal honesty, calling out his intellectual arrogance and lack of real-world experience, arguing that despite all his knowledge, Will has never truly lived, loved, or faced vulnerability, and that until he opens up, no book or brilliance will teach him what actually matters. In the following sessions, Will initially stays silent, testing Sean's patience. but eventually opens up with humor, leading to deeper conversations about relationships. He admits he's hesitant to pursue Skylar further, fearing he'll ruin the perfect image he has of her.
Perfect right now. I don't want to ruin that.
But Sean challenges this, explaining that real love comes from embracing imperfections and sharing a heartfelt story about his late wife. For the first time, Will truly listens, prompting him to reconnect with Skylar and take her out again, where their bond grows stronger. However, his fear of vulnerability persists. He lies about his family,
I have 12 big brothers.
inventing an elaborate story and even promising to introduce her to them. Meanwhile, Sean reinforces the idea of genuine connection through his own life experiences, while Skylar continues pushing Will to open up, leading him to cautiously take a step forward by introducing her to his friends instead of revealing the truth about his past. Subscribe for more movie breakdowns before watching ahead. Skylar unexpectedly bonds with Will's friends, fitting seamlessly into their rough circle. But the night ends on a sour note when Chuck crudely undermines Will's confidence, planting doubts about their relationship. Meanwhile, Professor Lambeau meets Sean to discuss Will's future, focusing on career opportunities rather than emotional growth. But Sean insists that Will must choose his own path. Frustrated, Lambeau reveals he's already arranged prestigious connections for Will, unaware that Chuck has sabotaged the opportunity by showing up in Will's place and behaving inappropriately, effectively ruining a major chance before Will even gets to decide his future. Will shares a seemingly perfect night with Skylar, but everything unravels when she asks him to move to California with her for Stanford.
I want you to come to California with me.
Pushing him out of his comfort zone. Fearful and defensive, Will refuses, hiding behind excuses, while Skylar calls him out for being scared of a world where he's no longer in control. The argument escalates as Will lashes out, accusing her of seeing him as just a poor fling. But Skylar counters with honesty, revealing her own fears and desire for something real.
My father died when I was 13.
When she confronts his lies about his family, Will finally breaks,
That I'm a f***ing orphan? No, you don't want to hear that.
angrily admitting his painful past as an abused orphan, yet still pushing her away. Despite her tearful confession of love and willingness to accept him completely, Will shuts down emotionally, denying his feelings and walking away,
I don't love you.
choosing fear over vulnerability. After his sabotaged opportunity, Will clashes with Professor Lambeau, rejecting the academic path laid out for him and storming off, frustrated by both expectations and his own superiority.
Most days I wish I never met you.
He later turns down a lucrative job at the NSA, unwilling to contribute to a system he believes harms ordinary people, further distancing himself from a conventional future. In therapy, Sean pushes Will to confront his isolation and avoidance, pointing out that hiding behind intellect and philosophy isn't the same as forming real human connections. When asked what he truly wants,
What are you passionate about? What do you want?
Will deflects with meaningless answers, prompting Sean to call out his dishonesty and throw him out,
Yeah, get
Hey, no, time's not up yet.
frustrated by his refusal to be genuine. Meanwhile, Will tries to reconnect with Skylar, but it's too late. She's moved on, leaving him alone with the consequences of his fear and indecision. As Skylar leaves for California, Will remains in Boston, settling into construction work with Chuck while ignoring his potential, even as Professor Lambeau threatens to report him for skipping therapy and send him back to jail.
File a report saying he wasn't here and he goes back to jail.
Will claims he's content wasting his talent, but Chuck bluntly calls him out, admitting he dreams of the day Will finally escapes his dead-end life. Tensions rise further when Lambeau confronts Sean, accusing him of derailing Will's future, while Sean fires back, arguing that Lambeau only cares about achievement, not Will's emotional well-being. Their conflict exposes deeper personal history and clashing values, ultimately leaving Will caught between two opposing forces.
Push myself.
You get that?
One pushing him toward greatness, the other urging him to discover what he truly wants. In his final breakthrough with Sean, Will learns his past doesn't define him and finally breaks down, confronting his pain. He briefly chooses a stable career path, But after celebrating his birthday with friends and receiving a handmade car,
So,
What?
happy birthday.
he realizes what truly matters. Sean and Lambo reconcile, while Will quietly disappears, leaving behind everything, including his job, choosing instead to drive to California to reunite with Skylar, echoing Sean's own story of following love over certainty. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone who'd love it too.